Good morning, everyone. So you've asked for some cooking videos to appear on our YouTube channel. So I thought to start off with a favourite of ours in our house, especially for breakfast, is pancakes. Connor's going to go through the things that you're going to need, and then you're going to see us prepare them and cook them in real time, so you should be able to follow the video along and do it with us as well. But then you've also got the option to pause it if it's taking you a little bit longer and things like that. So what we'd really like to know though is if you like the video or if you want other things, other ideas of things you'd like us to show you how to cook, throw it in the comments below and we might do another one for you.
So the equipment that you will need for these pancakes, you will need a stove, you will need a frying pan, you will need some vegetable oil.
Well, any type of oil would work really. Olive oil, sunflower oil.
You will need some kitchen roll, you'll need a whisk, and you'll need a big bowl.
And do you know what, Connor, there's something that we've missed, maybe you can get it from the cupboard really quick, is something to flip our pancakes over with.
We have our special Christmas tree flipper. And for the pancakes, we need some flour. We have 4 hungry people in our house that we are feeding, so we need 400 grams of flour. But
What type of flour is it, Connor? Is it plain or self-raising?
we need plain flour for this.
Now, our house, some people in our house can't eat flour, so we've actually got some special gluten-free flour, but you can just use normal flour. It doesn't make a difference.
And because you're feeding 4 people, you'll need 4 eggs. And we don't eat cow's milk in our house, so we have some almond milk, but you can also use cow's milk if you'd like.
Or any other type of milk, soy milk or oat milk or anything. So Connor, what if we didn't have 4 hungry people? What if we only wanted to make pancakes, say, for 2 people? How many eggs would we use then?
Well, you would only need to use 2 eggs if you were feeding 2 people, but you would also need 200 grams of flour.
Okay, and what about if we had more people, or we were just feeling a little bit more hungry today?
If you were feeding 5 people, or you were just more hungry, then you would need 5 eggs and 500 grams of flour.
Fantastic.
And here are some toppings that we like to have in our house. But you can have anything from ice cream to chocolate syrup to Nutella to sprinkles.
And do you know what? Pancakes are also nice as a savoury thing with maybe some baked beans and a bit of cheese. So one thing we forgot to tell you in the equipment list that we'd need, you can tell we've not done this before, we're making mistakes, is some weighing scales, alright? Otherwise, how are you going to know you've got 400 grams of flour? So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my mixing bowl on the scales. Come down here, come and have a look. Now, I don't want to weigh my mixing bowl, so most scales, if they're digital, will have a button that gets you back to 0, and it's normally called tare. So if you tap that, the scales go back to 0, and that's really, really important. We need to start on 0 with our bowl before we add the flour in. And then we're just going to pour in. I'm not going to sieve it. This is a nice simple pancake recipe. And I'm just going to keep looking at the numbers until we've got 400 grams. Oh. And this recipe is also quite forgiving because I've gone a little bit over, and a little bit over is okay. Alright? If I go quite a bit over, best way to get the flour out of the bowl and back into the packet is just get a spoon, and then you can take a little bit out and you can put it back in to the bag. Right. So there's my flour, put that over to one side for the minute. Don't need the scales. If I put these away now, it'll help me to keep tidy and have lots of space. So my 4 eggs. There are lots of different ways to crack eggs. I'm going to show you some of them, and there's no right way or wrong way, it's just what works better for you. So I like to use a little knife, and I've got a plate here to put my shells, the empty shells on afterwards. So hold it over the bowl, so if I do drop any bits, it goes into the bowl. Give it a little tap with the knife, so there's a crack, and I can put both my thumbs in and gently pull it apart. Alright, and then put the eggshells to one side. You can, it's really hard on this bowl because it's plastic, you can tap it on the side until you've got a crack, and then put the egg in the bowl. You can tap it on a flat surface as well, but that one's really hard, and the number of times Connor's done that, and he's ended up with egg on his toes. And then the last egg, back to my favourite way of the knife. And then it goes. If you do drop any shells in, you can try and pick them out with your fingers. But now I've got egg on my fingers, so I'm just going to give them a quick rinse under the top. Okay, so now we've got the eggs in, the next thing is another little bit of tidy up. I'm going to take all of these and pop them over next to the sink, because Connor's really good at washing up, and he'll wash those up in a little second. Now, milk. How much milk? You notice when we're talking about the ingredients, we've not talked about measuring it out, because this is something that you can change. All right. If you like the thick pancakes, then it's a little bit less milk. If you like the thin pancakes, it's a little bit more. But we'll show you what we mean in a sec. So you can start off by putting in a little bit of milk. And now I'm going to start mixing it up, because what I want to see is what my batter is going to look like. Come and have a look. Come get closer and look at this, Connor. See what it's like as we mix it up. Right, now this is quite thick and sticky, and that is too thick to make pancakes. So I'm going to put in some more milk. An empty bottle. That's why I've got another one here. Whoop. It's alright if we make a little bit of a mess. Now, whisking can be quite difficult on your arms, so what you could use is you could use an electric whisk, like the one that's popping up on the screen now, or you can put it into one of the big machines, like what's popping up on the screen now. Alright, so here's my batter. That's still really thick and sticky, so I'm going to need some more milk in there. And remember, you can always add a little bit more, but you can take it back out again. Alright, so always add a little bit at a time. Give it a good mix. Get those arms going. Right. See, that's still a little bit thick. Bit more milk. I'm nearly there. Now, Connor, what pancakes are we doing today? Are we going to do the thick ones or the thin ones?
Let's do some thin ones.
Oh, thin ones. See, that's Connor's favourite. I like the thick ones. Alright, so, got a spoon here. If I was doing the thick ones, Connor, come and have a look. Come and have a look in. See, when I pour the batter in, alright, you see I can make a little ribbon on the top, and the spoon's nice and coated. Alright, that would be some good batter for some thick pancakes. Alright, at this stage I'd stop adding the milk, but Connor wants thin ones, so I want a little bit more milk in here. Still a bit thick, a little bit more. Whoops! I am not the cleanest cook. Alright, I've already made a little bit of a mess. I've got a kitchen towel, I can wipe that up. Alright, it's better to wipe it up as soon as you make the mess. Bit more milk. Right, there we go. That's a nice thin batter. Alright, I can't draw a line on the top anymore because it just goes away too quickly. And that's a nice thin batter for making pancakes with. Alright, so there we go. Our batter is ready. Right then, so another piece of equipment we forgot to tell you about at the beginning. You can tell we've not done one of these before. What have you got in your hand there, Connor?
This is a ladle.
A ladle, and we'll use that to get the batter out of the bowl and into the frying pan. Again, if you want to make it a little bit easier, alright, you can put your batter into a jug and then pour it into your pan, but that is completely up to you. Right then, Connor. Connor's going to tell us how to cook some pancakes.
So first off, you need a little bit of oil in your pan before you turn it on. Make sure that the pan is not hot before you put the oil on. So you put a little bit of oil, and then we get the kitchen paper from earlier, and then we wipe it around all over the bottom of the frying pan.
So remember, this is when things are going to start to get hot and you might need an adult around to help you. You might need oil depending on what your pan's like. Luckily our pan's quite a good one that will probably only need oil at the beginning, but you might need to add a little bit of oil to your pan every so often if the pancakes start to stick. What are you going to do with that bit of paper now, Connor?
Now you need to put this in the bin. First, you need to turn on the frying pan.
Alright, so we've got a gas cooker there. You can see the flame underneath. It's on as high as it will go.
And we need to wait a little bit for it to get hot.
What's a little bit? What number should we count to?
Should we count to 20?
Go for it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Right.
So
Before
now,
we start cooking our pancakes, we need to make sure our pan's hot. So I've got a little teaspoon here. I'm going to take a little bit of the batter and just pour it on. What we want to see is a sizzle, and we don't have a sizzle yet, so our pan's not quite ready. Alright? So we'll leave it a little bit longer. Maybe count to 10 for us, Sky.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Alright, let's go again with this spoon and see whether we get a sizzle this time.
Oh, I can hear a sizzle there.
We can hear a sizzle, so we know our pan is ready for cooking. But before we do that, we can get our spatula and we can just scrape off these little mini pancakes and we can throw those away. Right, start off with a nice clean pan.
So, what you want to do is you want to fill the ladle with pancake batter. You might need to pour a little bit away so you can carry it over to the pan safely.
And see how Connor's got his bowl really close to his frying pan. So, and he's going to scrape the ladle on the side so he doesn't make a dribbly mess all over the counter.
And then you pour it in the pan. And because we're making the nice thin round pancakes, you might want to tip the batter to the edges.
Now, what doesn't matter at this stage, if your pancakes are round, it doesn't matter, or if they start to look like a little bit of a sad rain cloud like Connor's does at the moment, that is okay. Alright, it's all about practice. The more pancakes you make, the better you get at making them a nice shape and things. But this is still going to taste awesome. Right, now what we're looking for, the pancake has started to change. We're starting to get some bubbles on the top. Alright, now that gives us a good idea that the pancake is starting to cook underneath and maybe is ready to turn over. Now, of course, you can show off like they do in the TV programmes and flip it so the pancake goes in the air, but if you've seen You've Been Framed, you would have seen pancakes sticking onto the ceiling and on people's heads. So that's why we've got a spatula, and Connor's going to flip the pancake over.
But first, you might want to check underneath to see if it is properly cooked.
What does it look like?
Under here, it isn't properly cooked yet because it hasn't gone a little bit brown.
Okay.
It's just gone a bit spotty.
Righto.
But look, it started to peel off, and that is a good sign that it's starting to cook.
Now what's really hard is when you're at home, your stove might take a little bit longer to cook your pancakes. It might cook them a bit quicker. So you are just going to have to use your eyes. When we flip this one over, you'll know what we want the pancakes to look like. Right, shall we flip them over then, Connor?
There you go.
So this is all really good stuff. So where it started to go a little bit golden brown, that's a good sign that the pancake's cooked. Now on this side, it won't take as long to cook. Alright, so you need to be really careful at this stage. Now Connor's going to get a plate out because we need somewhere to put the pancakes that we've cooked as we go.
Shall we check underneath the pancakes? And that looks like it is done.
Perfect. There we go. There's pancake number one. Now what Connor's going to do is just going to repeat that until we've got a pancake stack. So what we've done is that we've put our oven on the lowest temperature it will go, because then we can put all of our cooked pancakes in the oven, and now they'll just stay warm. They won't cook anymore, but they'll stay warm while Connor cooks the rest of the pancakes, and that means that we can all sit down and eat our pancakes together. Alright, so we just thought we'd show you one more time. Getting the batter into the pan, a little scrapey on the side. Pour it in, and then giving the pan handle a little whiz. Now, Connor's going to carry on cooking that one. The great thing is, with pancake mix, is that if you decided you've made too much and you've got pancakes and you think, oh, actually this is going to be enough, this you can just pop in the fridge. Either pour it into a clean empty bottle and pop it in the fridge, or just put a bit of cling film over the top of that, and that will keep for a couple of days. So you could just make some more pancakes tomorrow or the next day. I don't know how well you can see here, but Connor's frying pan started to smoke a little bit, which might happen, and that's fine. All he needs to do at this stage is turn the temperature down a little bit. Right, he's the one who's in control of the temperature, and that means he can cook things as fast or as slow as he wants to. Okay, so all the pancakes are cooked, and they're all sat there in the oven, just keeping warm for us. Now, even though the oven's on its lowest temperature, it'll still be warm, so Connor's got some oven gloves. The table's ready for breakfast, and there's an empty mat on the table as well, just because the plate will be hot and you don't want to damage the table. So there we go, look at that stack of pancakes. Connor, can you remember how many pancakes you've made altogether?
Have no idea.
Roughly?
Maybe 15?
Okay, so that 4 eggs, 400 grams flour is probably made somewhere between 10 and 15 pancakes. Right, so that's our first video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. What would be great is if you could take photos or little videos of you cooking the pancakes or following the video. Get your mums and dads to put them on the evidence for learning, and so we can see how you've been getting on. And maybe use the comment string below this to tell us what anything else you'd like us to cook. it would be great to see you again and see how you've been getting on. Keep safe, keep well. See you soon. Bye bye.